Have you ever wondered why happiness slips through our fingers, even when we finally achieve what we once longed for? The dream job, the luxury car, the applause of others, yet a quiet emptiness remains. We run endlessly, chasing shadows of pleasure, but never holding onto lasting peace. The Stoics once asked the same question: where does true happiness live? Not in possessions, not in fame, not in fleeting pleasures, but in a fortress within ourselves. Today, we will walk together into that fortress, step by step, guided by the wisdom of the ancients. And perhaps, by the end of this journey, you will find that happiness was never far away. It was within you all along. Picture this. You wake up early, scroll through your phone, and already you feel the weight of the world pressing in. Deadlines, bills, expectations. Social media whispers that everyone else is thriving, while you're still fighting invisible battles. Anxiety grows, and no matter how much you achieve, satisfaction escapes. This is not just your story, it is the story of our age. An age of noise, comparison, and endless craving. And yet, 2,000 years ago, the Stoics faced storms of their own: wars, exile, betrayal, loss. And still, they found unshakable calm. How? By mastering what we now struggle to control: the mind. Enter Stoicism, the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Not dusty words on parchment, but living wisdom carved in fire and struggle. They taught that happiness is not found in what happens to us, but in how we respond. That virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control is the only true good. That peace of mind comes not from controlling the world, but from mastering ourselves. In this video, we will explore the Stoic path to happiness, a map that has guided emperors and slaves alike, and still has power for us today. By the end of this journey, you will discover why lasting happiness cannot be bought, borrowed, or begged from others. You will see how the Stoics turned suffering into strength and obstacles into opportunities. And you will learn how to apply their timeless wisdom today in your own life. Whether you face stress at work, conflict in relationships, or battles within yourself, the Stoic way offers tools for calm, clarity, and resilience. Stay with me until the end, and you will leave not just inspired, but equipped with a philosophy to carry through the storms of life. The first Stoic principle about happiness is simple, yet profound. Happiness is not the same as pleasure. Pleasure is fleeting. It comes and goes with fortune, with money, with external praise. True happiness, the Stoics taught, is rooted in virtue, in living with wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. Pleasure can be stolen from us by chance, but virtue is untouchable. A man who masters himself cannot be enslaved by cravings. And so, the Stoics remind us, the good life is not about what you own, but about who you choose to be. Seneca once wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." For the Stoics, joy was not a matter of waiting for better days. It was the art of mastering today, of living with presence and integrity. They understood that pleasure, when chased blindly, becomes a prison. But when guided by reason, life itself, even with its struggles, can be joyful. This is not about escaping reality, but embracing it with clarity, with strength, with calm. Imagine Rome in its golden age. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the most powerful empire, living not in endless feasts, but in discipline. Though surrounded by wealth and pleasures, he chose simplicity, writing by candlelight, eating modest meals, finding strength in his thoughts. Why? Because he knew pleasure fades, but character endures. His reign was marked not by indulgence, but by resilience. He reminds us that even when fortune offers abundance, wisdom means choosing what truly nourishes the soul over what merely excites the senses. Today, we live in a culture of instant gratification, likes, purchases, fleeting pleasures. But the Stoic message is timeless. Do not confuse excitement with happiness. Happiness is found in the strength of your choices. Each time you resist envy, practice gratitude, speak truth, or act with courage, you are building a fortress within yourself. That fortress cannot be shaken by market crashes, gossip, or failures. If you want joy that endures, stop chasing and start cultivating. True happiness is not about consuming more, but about becoming more. The second Stoic principle is a shield against chaos. Focus only on what you can control. Life throws storms, illness, betrayal, loss, failure. Most of these lie beyond our power. But the Stoics taught that while we cannot control events, we can always control our response. Our thoughts, our choices, our actions, these are ours alone. Freedom is not found in bending the world, but in mastering ourselves. When we stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable, we discover an inner calm no storm can touch. Epictetus captured this truth in a single line. Some things are up to us, and some are not. The wisdom is simple, yet life-changing. If you attach your happiness to things outside your control, fame, money, other people's opinions, you will always be a slave to fortune. But if you anchor happiness in your own choices, integrity, courage, clarity, you will never be shaken. The Stoics remind us, peace begins where control ends, and mastery begins where responsibility starts. When Epictetus was born, he was a slave. His master could chain his body, but never his mind. Epictetus taught his students that freedom is not the gift of emperors, but the birthright of the soul that controls itself. Even in poverty, even in pain, he remained unbroken, because no one could take away his reasoned choice. His life became a living lesson. That power is not about ruling nations, but about ruling one's own mind. His chains were real, but his spirit was untouchable. Today, we battle storms of a different kind: stress at work, traffic, criticism, failed plans. We waste precious energy trying to control bosses, partners, strangers on the internet. The Stoic way is to pause, breathe, and ask, is this in my control? If not, release it. If yes, act with strength. This is not passive surrender, it is radical power. When you focus only on your choices, you step into freedom. You become unshakable, because the world may shake around you, but never within you. The third Stoic principle may be the most radical. Only virtue is truly good. Wealth, health, beauty, or status, these are temporary, fragile, and outside our control. They can be blessings, but they are not the essence of happiness. For the Stoics, virtue, living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control, is the one unshakable good. A man may lose everything, yet if he holds virtue, he still possesses freedom and dignity. Without virtue, all possessions are empty. With virtue, even poverty can shine with gold. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Here lies the Stoic creed. That character is the true treasure. No empire, no fortune, no applause can outweigh a clear conscience and a steady soul. They believe that the four cardinal virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, are the pillars that carry the weight of a good life. Without them, everything collapses. With them, even in hardship, life remains whole. When Rome was shaken by plague and war, Marcus Aurelius did not retreat into luxury. He stood firm, writing his meditations not as an emperor, but as a man devoted to virtue. In the cold of military tents, with death at the gates, he reminded himself daily that power means nothing without justice, courage, and reason. His empire could crumble, but his virtue could not. That is why centuries later, his words still breathe life into us, because they were not written for glory, but for truth. In our world today, we are taught to measure success by money, titles, or applause. But the Stoics challenge us to a higher standard: measure success by virtue. Did you act with wisdom when tested? With courage when afraid? With justice when tempted? With self-control when pressured? These are the victories that last. The bank account may rise and fall, but integrity is wealth no market can touch. To live with virtue is to live rich in the only currency that never loses value. The fourth Stoic principle is liberation itself. freedom from endless desires. Desire is a chain, pulling us from one craving to the next, never allowing rest. The Stoics saw this clearly. The man who needs less is richer than the man who owns everything. True wealth is not abundance of possessions, but freedom from dependence. To be content with little, to master desire rather than be mastered by it. That is the path to unshakable happiness. Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This wisdom cuts against the very culture we live in. Happiness is not measured in what we accumulate, but in how little we need. The Stoics remind us that every desire surrendered is a chain removed. The freer we are from craving, the more space we have for peace, gratitude, and joy. Desire inflames, but freedom calms. Consider Diogenes, though not a Stoic, admired by them for his radical freedom. He owned almost nothing, yet lived with laughter and peace, even mocking kings who sought his favor. When Alexander the Great offered him anything, Diogenes simply replied, "Stand out of my sunlight." The Stoics learned from this, that the man free from desire is greater than the man who commands armies. Marcus Aurelius echoed this lesson, reminding himself not to be seduced by luxury, but to walk in simplicity. In our world of advertisements and endless scrolling, desire has become an industry. We are told daily that happiness is just one purchase away. But the Stoic path flips the script. Happiness is not about adding, but subtracting. Try this. When you feel a craving rise, ask, "Do I truly need this? Or have I been trained to want it?" Each time you resist unnecessary desire, you grow freer, lighter, stronger. The richest person is not the one who has more, but the one who needs less. The fifth Stoic principle is forged in fire. Adversity is not the enemy, but the teacher. Pain, loss, failure, these are not punishments, but training grounds for the soul. Just as steel is hardened in the forge, so too is character shaped in struggle. The Stoics believe that hardship is the raw material from which resilience is built. To curse adversity is to reject the very process that makes us strong. To embrace it is to transform suffering into power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the heart of Stoic resilience. Obstacles are not barriers, but pathways. Every challenge is an invitation to practice strength, patience, and wisdom. Instead of asking, "Why me?" the Stoic asks, "How can I grow from this?" In this reversal lies the secret to unshakable power. Adversity is no longer a curse. It becomes the forge of greatness. During the Antonine Plague, Marcus Aurelius faced years of death and despair across the empire. Yet in the chaos, he held to virtue. In his meditations, he wrote not of complaint, but of strength, reminding himself that even in darkness, the soul can choose the light. The plague could strike his body, but not his character. He carried the weight of an empire, yet still chose to see every trial as material for growth. His example shows us, adversity refines, it does not define. Today, adversity wears many faces: illness, rejection, financial stress, loneliness. The Stoic lesson is timeless. See every hardship as a forge, not a prison. When life pushes you down, rise stronger. When failure mocks you, answer with persistence. When pain strikes, let it deepen your wisdom. Each challenge faced with courage adds weight to your inner strength. The storms of life will come, but if you see them as training, you will emerge unbroken, forged in gold. The sixth Stoic principle is inner harmony, the alignment of thought, word, and action. The Stoics warn that inner conflict is the true poison of the soul. When we think one thing, say another, and do something else entirely, we live divided and restless. But when our mind, speech, and deeds flow as one, a deep calm arises. Harmony is not perfection, it is integrity. It is the strength of being whole, of living one life, not 100 masks. This is where lasting peace begins. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Harmony is not an accident, it is a discipline. The Stoics remind us that we are architects of our inner temple. Every word must echo our values. Every action must honor our reason. Without this unity, life becomes fragmented. With it, life becomes whole. True happiness, they believed, comes when there is no gap between who we are and how we live. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, lived this principle. After losing his fortune in a shipwreck, he chose not deceit or despair, but truth and discipline. Teaching in the open colonnades of Athens, he spoke simply and lived simply, his life matching his words. Centuries later, Marcus Aurelius would echo this, reminding himself daily to act with justice and truth, even as emperor. Their harmony of thought and action made their philosophy unshakable, because it was not just spoken, but lived. Today, inner harmony is more urgent than ever. We are pressured to perform roles, one face at work, another online, another with friends. But the Stoics call us back to wholeness. To live one life, not many masks. Begin with honesty. Align your thoughts with your words, and your words with your actions. Integrity may not please everyone, but it will give you peace. And peace is priceless. To live in harmony is to walk freely, carrying no hidden weight within. The seventh Stoic principle is freedom from the chains of opinion. We spend so much of life chasing the applause of others, fearing their judgment, craving their approval. But the Stoics warned, to live for others' praise is to become their slave. True freedom is to stand firm, guided by virtue, not by the shifting winds of opinion. What others say belongs to them. What you choose belongs to you. Detachment from validation is not arrogance. It is strength, the power to walk your path in peace. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." These words pierce straight to the heart. How often do we sacrifice peace to please strangers? The Stoics urge us, turn inward. Seek approval only from reason, from virtue, from your own soul. For when your conscience is clear, no insult can wound you, and no praise can intoxicate you. You remain steady, anchored in truth. Epictetus, once mocked for his limp, simply replied, "You can laugh at my body, but you cannot harm my will." His dignity came not from others' praise, but from his inner freedom. Marcus Aurelius, too, though emperor, wrote daily reminders not to be swayed by flattery or insult. They knew that public opinion is as fickle as the wind. The wise man does not build his house on sand. He builds on the rock of virtue, and no voice, no crowd, can shake it. In our age of social media, we are drowning in opinions. Likes, comments, gossip, they seduce and enslave. But the Stoic path calls us back to freedom. Each time you post, speak, or act, ask, am I guided by virtue or by the hunger for applause? Detachment does not mean indifference. It means clarity. You listen, but you are not ruled. You care, but you are not chained. When you live by your values, not by the voices around you, you finally walk free. We have walked together through the wisdom of the Stoics, 7 principles for true happiness. That happiness is not pleasure, but virtue. That peace comes from focusing on what we can control. That adversity is the forge of strength. That freedom lies not in desire, but in self-mastery. That harmony within is the path to calm. And that no voice outside can grant or take away our dignity. These are not old lessons buried in the past. They are living tools, sharp and powerful, for every day of our lives. And now, remember this. You are not weak. You are not powerless. You carry within you the same strength that carried emperors through wars and slaves through chains. The same fire that burned in Stoic hearts burns in yours. Life will throw storms, but you are not the storm. You are the lighthouse. You are the fortress. You are the calm within chaos. Do not look outside for permission to be strong. Claim it now. The choice to live free, virtuous, and unshakable has always been yours. Here is your challenge. For the next 7 days, practice one Stoic principle each day. Day 1. Separate happiness from pleasure. Day 2. Focus only on what you can control. Day 3. Live by virtue. Day 4. Cut one unnecessary desire. Day 5. Embrace one hardship as training. Day 6. Align your thoughts, words, and actions. Day 7. Release the need for validation. At the end of the week, reflect. You will not only understand Stoicism, you will live it. And that is where true transformation begins. This is the miracle of Stoicism, to find happiness not in the world outside, but in the strength within. Carry these lessons into your daily life, and you will discover that nothing can shake your peace. If this message resonated with you, share it, live it, and let it grow in you. Remember, storms will come, but you were born to stand unshaken. This is Stoic Miracles, where ancient wisdom becomes strength for the modern soul.